I still remember the exact sound of that afternoon. Not the scream, not the chaos, but the strange silence that came just seconds before everything changed. It was the kind of quiet that feels wrong, like the world itself was holding its breath. If I had left just 5 minutes earlier, if I had ignored that small voice telling me to stay a little longer, maybe none of this would have happened. Or maybe something much worse would have. It started like any normal day. I'd gone to my best friend Hassan's house like I did almost every weekend. We had been friends since childhood. The kind of friendship where you don't even need permission to enter each other's homes. His mother, whom I respectfully called Auntie, treated me like her own son. She always insisted I eat before leaving, always asked about my studies, always reminded me that good character matters more than success. That day Hassan wasn't even home. He had gone to the city for some work and told me I could still stop by because his mom was alone. At least she won't feel bored, he joked on the phone. I didn't know that small decision would put me in the middle of the most terrifying moment of my life. When I arrived, she was in the small garden behind the house, watering the plants she loved more than anything. She believed plants responded to kindness. She used to say, if you talk gently to living things, they grow better. I laughed at that idea once. I don't laugh anymore. She smiled when she saw me. Oh, good you came. Help me move this pot, she said. Nothing unusual, nothing dramatic. Just a normal moment that now feels priceless in my memory. I bent down to lift a clay pot near the wall when I noticed something strange. The soil behind it looked disturbed. Before I could even process what I was seeing, everything happened in less than a second. A sudden sharp movement, a flash of dark scales. And then, her scream. I turned and saw her stumble backward, her hand clutching her ankle. For a moment my brain refused to understand what my eyes were seeing. Then I saw it, the snake. It slid back toward the wall, disappearing into a narrow gap between bricks. My heart started pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Auntie, I shouted, running to her. Her face had already turned pale. I think. Something bit me, she whispered. I didn't panic immediately, at least not outside. Inside I was terrified. But something strange happens when someone needs you. Fear steps aside and responsibility takes over. I looked at her ankle. 2 puncture marks, blood slowly forming around them. My stomach dropped. Snake bite. My hands started shaking, but I forced myself to focus. I remembered a documentary I had watched months ago. I remembered random advice from the internet. I remembered hearing that panic can kill faster than poison. Auntie, look at me, I said firmly. She looked at me like a frightened child. You are going to be okay. I'm here. I don't know if I was reassuring her or myself. Her breathing was getting fast. I feel dizzy, she said. That's when real fear hit me. The hospital was at least 25 minutes away. There was no car at home, no neighbors nearby at that exact moment. My phone showed weak signal. Everything that could go wrong seemed ready to go wrong. But I refused to accept defeat. I tore a piece of cloth from an old rag near the garden tap and tied it above the bite. Not too tight, just enough to slow the spread. My fingers were clumsy, but I kept telling myself steady, steady, steady. Stay awake, I kept saying. Her voice was getting softer. I don't want to die alone, she murmured. That sentence hit me like a knife. You are not dying, I said, louder than I meant to. Then something unexpected happened. Instead of thinking like a scared teenager, my mind suddenly became extremely clear. One idea came to me, risky, strange, something I'd only heard people argue about online. But I had no better option, and time was running out. I helped her lie down flat. I kept the bitten leg still. I grabbed a clean cloth, wiped the blood, and made a quick decision that honestly scared me more than the snake itself. I was going to try to remove some venom. Yes, the old method people debate about. I knew it was controversial. I knew it wasn't guaranteed. But I also knew doing nothing would be worse. I checked my mouth for any cuts. I rinsed quickly with water. My heart was racing. This may hurt, I said. She nodded, weakly. And I did something I never imagined I would ever do in my life. I tried to save her life with nothing but courage and desperation. Minutes felt like hours. I kept talking to her the whole time to keep her conscious. Tell me about Hassan when he was small, I said. She gave a weak laugh. He used to cry if I left the room. See, then you can't leave him now. Her eyes filled with tears. You are a good boy, she whispered. I didn't feel good. I felt terrified. After a few minutes, I realized we needed real medical help immediately. Improvisation wasn't enough. I grabbed my phone and ran toward the main road, hoping for signal. I waved at the first motorcycle I saw like a madman. The rider slowed down. What happened?
Snake bite.
Please, hospital. Without hesitation, he said, bring her. That stranger restored my faith in humanity. We carried her together. I sat behind, holding her upright while praying silently the whole ride. I had never prayed with that level of desperation before. God, please, not like this, not her. At the hospital emergency entrance, I shouted for help. Nurses rushed her inside. Doctors started treatment immediately. Then came the worst part. Waiting. No action. No control. Just silence and fear. Hassan arrived an hour later after I called him. His face was full of panic. What happened? I told him everything. Every detail. He didn't say anything for a moment. Then he did something I didn't expect. He hugged me. Not a casual hug. The kind where someone is thanking you without words. Whatever happens, thank you for not leaving her alone, he said. Hours passed before the doctor finally came out. She is stable now. Those 3 words felt like the greatest reward I had ever received. The doctor explained that quick first. Response probably helped slow the venom spread until antivenom was given. Hearing that made my knees weak with relief. I sat down and realized something strange. My shirt had dried blood on it. My hands still smelled like antiseptic. And for the first time since the incident, I started shaking. Not from fear anymore, from emotional release. When she finally woke properly later that night, she asked for me. I walked into the room feeling awkward. She held my hand. Today, God sent me a son when mine wasn't there, she said. I couldn't speak. Some moments are too heavy for words. That day changed something inside me. I understood what real courage looks like. It isn't about being fearless. It's about acting while afraid. It's about choosing responsibility when escape is easier. Many people later called me brave. But the truth, I was just the only one there. And sometimes that's what heroes really are. Not special people, just ordinary people who didn't walk away. If there is one thing I learned that day, it is this. Life tests you without warning. It doesn't ask if you're ready. It doesn't check your age, your experience, or your confidence. It simply asks one question. When the moment comes, will you step forward or step back? That day I stepped forward, not because I was strong, because someone needed me. And maybe that is what humanity really means. If this story touched your heart, remember this lesson. Learn basic emergency responses, stay calm in crisis, and never underestimate how much difference one person can make. You might save a life someday without expecting it. And if you believe stories like this, stories about courage, humanity, emotional strength, and life-changing moments deserve to be heard, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next powerful story. Because sometimes one story can change the way we see the world, and maybe even change who we become. And trust me, the next story might stay with you forever.